Boyfriend's sex addiction is ruining everything. Need advice. The smell of garlic sizzling in olive oil usually calmed me. Tonight, it was just a reminder of how easily contentment could be shattered. Mark was supposed to be setting the table, humming some off-key pop song like he always did. Instead, he was in the shower, the sound of the water a dull roar masking whatever else he might be doing. I picked up his phone, intending to look up a recipe. We were trying a new pasta dish Emily had recommended. It was lying face up on the kitchen counter, a notification blinking from an unknown number. Can't wait to see you tomorrow, Zoe Chloe. My stomach dropped. Chloe? Who the hell was Chloe? I clicked on the message, nothing else there. Just that single innocuous text. But something felt wrong. Deeply, gut-wrenchingly wrong. When Mark came out of the shower, damp hair plastered to his forehead, I held up the phone. Who's Chloe? He looked at the phone, then at me, his expression shifting from relaxed to slightly panicked. Chloe. Oh, she's a new client from work. I told you about the project I'm working on, right? The one that requires winky faces and kisses. I tried to keep my voice even, but the sarcasm was thick. He chuckled nervously, reaching for a towel. You know how some people are with texts. It's probably just her being friendly. Don't worry about it. Friendly? Seriously, Mark, I pressed. I don't know any friendly clients who send kissy faces. He sighed, running a hand through his wet hair. Look, I promise you it's nothing. I'll even show you the email chain if you want. It's just a work thing. Please trust me. His eyes were so earnest, his voice so convincing. I wanted to believe him, I really did. But the seed of doubt had been planted. The next few weeks were hell. I found myself constantly checking his phone, his emails, his social media. I felt like a crazy person, a detective in a bad movie. And the worst part was, I kept finding things. Deleted messages. A dating app profile with a blurry picture that looked suspiciously like him. Suspicious charges on our credit card, restaurants I didn't recognize, late-night Uber rides. I confided in Emily over a bottle of wine one Friday night. She listened patiently as I recounted my suspicions, my paranoia, my mounting anxiety. You need proof. Sarah, she said, her voice firm. You can't go on like this, driving yourself crazy. Gather concrete evidence. And maybe consider talking to a therapist. This level of anxiety isn't healthy. Emily was right. I needed proof. So I did something I never thought I was capable of. I started following him. He told me he had a work event one Thursday evening. Said it was a networking thing, important for his career. I pretended to be understanding, kissed him goodbye, and waited an hour before getting in my car. I found him at a dimly lit bar on the other side of town. He was sitting at a table with a woman, laughing, leaning in close. It wasn't Chloe, at least not the Chloe from the text. This woman was younger, with long blonde hair and a tight black dress. I took pictures, lots of them, enough to fill my phone's memory. Then I drove home, my hands shaking, my heart pounding in my chest. The confrontation was ugly. I threw the pictures on the table, along with printouts of the dating app profile and the credit card statements. Who is she, Mark? I demanded, my voice trembling. And don't you dare lie to me again. He looked at the pictures, his face paling. He tried to deny it at first, but the evidence was overwhelming. Finally, he broke down. I'm so sorry, Sarah, he sobbed, burying his face in his hands. I don't know what's wrong with me. I have a problem. A real problem. What kind of problem? I asked, my voice barely a whisper. I think I might be addicted to sex, he confessed, his voice choked with tears. The words hung in the air, heavy and suffocating. Sex addiction. I'd heard of it, but I never thought it could happen to us. He started seeing a therapist, Dr. Klein, who specialized in addiction. I went to a few sessions with him, trying to understand what was happening, trying to salvage our relationship. Mark seemed genuinely remorseful. He promised to be transparent, to work on himself, to fix what he'd broken. He stopped going out alone, shared his location with me, even gave me access to his phone and email accounts. It was exhausting, emotionally draining. Some days I felt like I was making progress. Other days the anger and betrayal were overwhelming. But I loved him, or at least I loved the man I thought he was. Months passed. Mark seemed to be doing better. He was attending therapy regularly, going to support groups. He was more attentive, more present. I started to feel hopeful again. We even booked a romantic vacation to reconnect, to rebuild what we had lost. The night before the trip, I decided to check his phone one last time. I know it wasn't healthy, but I couldn't shake the nagging feeling of unease. And there it was, a new message from Chloe. My blood ran cold. This time I was able to find Chloe's profile online. It was a dating site I'd never heard of, and Chloe wasn't a woman. Chloe was a man named Chris. The messages were explicit, filthy. He and Mark had been sexting, sending pictures back and forth. I confronted him with the evidence, my voice shaking with rage. He denied it at first, then blamed his addiction, saying he couldn't control himself. So what? You're just going to cheat on me forever and blame it on your addiction? I screamed, tears streaming down my face. Is that what this is? No, Sarah, please, I swear I'm trying, he pleaded. Trying? Is that what you call this? This is pathetic, Mark. You're pathetic. I kicked him out that night. He went to stay with his brother, David. I cut off all contact with him. I couldn't bear to look at him, to hear his voice. I threw myself into my work, buried myself in projects, anything to distract me from the pain. David called me a few days later. He sounded defeated. Sarah, I need to tell you something about Mark, he said hesitantly. He's been like this for a long time, since he was a teenager. It's a pattern with him. Why didn't you tell me this before? I asked, my voice tight with anger. I was hoping he would change, David admitted. I was hoping he could get it under control. I'm so sorry. I started going to therapy on my own. I needed to understand what was happening to me, why I had stayed with him for so long, why I had allowed myself to be treated this way. I learned about codependency, about enabling behavior, about the complexities of addiction. I realized that Mark's recovery was his responsibility, not mine. I couldn't fix him. Mark reached out to me constantly, begging for another chance. He said he was finally making real progress in therapy. He said he understood the damage he had caused. I agreed to meet him for coffee. He looked terrible. Gaunt, pale, and haunted. He presented me with a detailed plan for his ongoing therapy, his support groups, his accountability measures. He seemed genuinely remorseful, but something had shifted inside me. The love I had felt for him was still there, but it was overshadowed by a deep sense of distrust, a profound feeling of betrayal. I don't know, Mark, I said, my voice quiet. I need time, I need space. I need to figure out if I can ever truly trust you again. I understand, he said, his eyes filled with pain. Maybe we can try couples therapy, I suggested. But only if I feel ready, only if I think it's possible. I walked home alone, the city lights blurring through my tears. I looked up at the sky, at the vast expanse of stars, and I realized something important. Regardless of what happened with Mark, I needed to prioritize my own happiness, my own well-being. I was open to the possibility of reconciliation, but I was also prepared to walk away if that's what was best for me. I deserved to be happy. I deserved to be respected, and I was finally ready to make choices that honored my own needs. The apartment felt empty, but it was also filled with a quiet sense of possibility. The possibility of a future where I came first. The possibility of a life lived on my own terms.